according to HMRC, high net worth individuals have greater than £2 million in assets or income in excess of £200,000 a year. So there are 6 key factors, I believe, in growing your personal wealth. But before I share those with you, let me ask you a question. Why are you in business? The most common reason I hear that question is freedom, both time and financial. But if you look at most business owners, they don't actually have either. See, according to the ONS, in early 2024, there are approximately 5.43 million registered limited companies in the UK. And of those, approximately 2.72 million, just over half, were registered for VAT or PAYE. And in simple terms, the threshold to register for VAT is £90,000 in turnover. So what that means to you is more than half of businesses do less than £90,000 a year gross revenue. So if you really think about it, you've got to invert it. If you want to become a high net worth individual, if you're not already, you have to be different. You have to be a non-conformist. So this video is a summary of 6 ways I've used to build a high net worth. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know below. So here they are, high speed. Number 1 is the one that everybody talks about, right? So if you're a business owner and you want to build a high net worth, grow your revenue, grow the size of your company. Listen, I'm in favor of growing revenue, but turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Okay, so it's, people that have grown revenue but had no more profit or even had less profit. So I'm not going to go in depth into that one now. But number 2 is margins. Okay, so to be part of my CEO mastermind program, it's 7 or 8 figure revenue, right? And the fees for my different mastermind levels are between £14,000 and £60,000 per year. Now, the interesting thing is, normally when somebody joins, we find them in the first 90 days savings that more than covers their annual fees, right? Now, some of you are already dismissing this point, i.e. The point being not about my mastermind program, but about finding savings inside your business. You kind of feel like you're already on top of it. But listen, if you're thinking that and your net profit margin is less, net profits after corporation tax is less than 20%, you are crazy. It's so obvious when somebody from the outside looks. We can normally find many tens of thousands of pounds, and in a couple of cases, hundreds of thousands of pounds in savings. That's number 2. Number 3, tax efficiencies. Okay. When it comes to tax, most people just eyes glaze over, but tax is effectively the single biggest expense category for most companies. And most abdicate to their accountant. They just go, well, that's the accountant's job. But the reality is, most accountants suck. My last CEO mastermind meeting, I had my accountant come in. And in a room full of experienced business owners, bear in mind, these are people that paid significant money, 7, 8 figure business owners, profitable, been in business 5+ years. They were blown away. But of the nuances, in that instance, he was talking specifically about taxing your company and about capital gains tax. And many people had never heard some of the things that he's speaking about. The difference in quality between a good accountant and a bad accountant is monstrous. How do you know yours is a good accountant? You've got to get educated yourself. That's number 3. Number 4, when we just talk about corporate taxes, let's talk about personal tax benefits. So let's talk about personal income, personal wealth. A lot of people, because of the income tax thresholds, kind of cap, business owners that I speak to, cap their kind of personal income at a few £100,000 a year for them and their spouse, so they don't lose their personal tax allowance, right? And therefore they cap it, and then they can spend all that money. But if you think about it, if you can legitimately move some of your personal expenditure, and you can figure out ways to put it legally inside of your company, that means that more of that personal income that you get can be invested, okay? Or whether that's ISAs, whether that's pensions, or whatever that is, it can be the money that you do get personally at a lower tax rate can be invested more effectively and can compound over time, which leads us on to number 5. Number 5 is investing in the right assets. Because when I was in my kind of 20s and even in my early 30s, when I made more, I just spent more, right? The money burnt a hole in my pocket. And that was true both inside the company and personally. Most people are oblivious to the opportunities, right? Said a different way, this isn't very politically correct, but most people bash the rich for avoiding tax. But I think you shouldn't bash them. I think you should become one of them. I think it's jealousy, and people think that they are doing illegal things. But in most cases, and there are some people that break the law, and I'm clearly not condoning that, but there are most of the very wealthy people that I know are happy to pay the tax. They're happy to follow the law, but they want to maximize it by really understanding The nuances in that, I want to be clear, it doesn't mean don't use good accounting advice. You must, but get educated yourself. I take ideas to my accountant and my financial advisors all the time and say, what about this? How would this work? How could we make this work? By the way, point four, I forgot to mention a point. Here's an example. There's multiple ways that you can do a variety of things. A lot of people watching this video, kids will be privately educated. Okay. Well, there are things you can do to make that significantly more tax efficient. Just a little side point that came up at the last meeting. That's number 5 is investing in the right assets. And number 6 is tracking. People try and carry around this stuff in your head. The way I see it, the most successful people in the world, both in business and sports, they are measuring freaks. Massive number of guys go from 6 to 7 figure revenues over the years, and others go from 7 to 8 figure revenues, and maybe that's revenue, but also in profit terms as well, to go from 6 to 7 figure profits, and in 1 or 2 cases, 7 to 8 figure profits. But all of those people, if I look at the list of our kind of best performing clients, people that have been with me and are still with me after 5, 6, 7, 8 years or longer, they're all, I would describe them as excessively anal. Some would say OCD about the metrics inside their business. And the key is apply that to your personal wealth. How do you track? Most people don't. How do you budget? Most people don't. And the answer is, of those 6 points, right, growing revenue, margins, tax efficiencies, personal tax benefits, investing in the right assets, tracking, some combination of those 6 is the key to not only increasing your income, but more importantly, building significant wealth for you, your children, and your future grandchildren, right? And this is exactly what I'm going to be discussing in depth at my next CEO Mastermind event. So around this video somewhere, you'll be able to click below and get more info, including how you can apply for a guest ticket. But here's a couple of highlights that's on the agenda. First up, I've got a friend of mine who grew his business to 20 million in annual revenue. He was on the verge of bankruptcy. He got his parents to remortgage their house to help fund his business. He got it up to 20 million revenue, and he exited it for 53 million pounds in cash. And what he's done since then. He's coming along to talk about how he did it. I've also got another friend coming along who he is one of the most connected people that I've ever met, and is connected with governments all over the world, highly influential. He actually raised an 8-figure sum from Warren Buffett and used it to help fund good causes, charitable causes. He's actually got an MBE as well. And he's going to talk about how to be a super connector and how to have global impact. We're going to talk about good debt, bad debt, right? So it's the key for how to leverage debt like the ultra wealthy. Ultra wealthy play by different rules. Okay, well, learn the rules and then decide if you want to play by them. Unlocking your next 10 million. So you're probably watching this video, the people that come to this event, most have got 7-figure net worths. That's not mandatory, but that's the kind of level they're playing at. How do you scale from 7 to 8 figures net worth, right? We're going to go into multiple strategies, advanced tax tactics, right, to keeping your cash, right? Well, what are the tax savings? Get educated. I'm not saying you have to do them and that some will work for some people and not for others. Your personal circumstances are different, but get yourself educated first, then take it back to your personal advisors, see which ones fit for you so you can keep more of your money. Unlocking your biggest payday, right? So it's good to be around people that have had multiple exits, okay? Because exiting a company can be a way for building rapid growth, or removing yourself from the company and having it run and still pay you dividends so you get time freedom. And finally, protecting your legacy. If you've got children, so I've got 3 children, and so in time, I'm sure I think it's likely I'll have grandchildren. But, the top 1%, the high net worth, but really the ultra high net worth individuals, how do they transfer their assets without losing them to taxes? It's topical at the moment. And all of these things are going to be discussed at this event in depth. If you like this, if you like the sound of it, comment below, but click below and find out more info about how to come to my next CEO Mastermind event and how you can apply for a guest ticket. I'll see you there.